so we're gonna start pouring. We just talked about the paints that I'm using. I switched my angle up a little bit so that hopefully my hands won't get in the way of your viewing pleasure. And I'm gonna get right into it. So I'm gonna use the white paint to make, to completely cover the coaster, to give it a nice pillow. Because this is practice, I have not taped the underside of my coaster. These ones will probably not be sold. I just want to use them as a practice piece and improve my technique. So by no means am I perfect at this technique. I think it's just a lot of fun and an easy way to use not quite as much paint as you would normally use on a lot of pouring techniques. So I'm gonna take my torch and get these air bubbles. And get right into it. So I'm gonna start with the Prussian blue and try to hold this in a way that you can see. The last one I did, I struggled a little bit with it running off. Not quite sure if my surface is quite as level as it should be, but it's just practice for now. So, magenta. And I'm going to be progressively working towards the middle of the coaster. You don't want your paint directly on top of the other paint. In the end, it'll end up looking a lot like the petals of a flower. Dioxazine purple. Oh, big old splooge of it. Got a little stuck in there. That's okay. I'm going to use my gold. And the reddish orange. I'm gonna break it up a little bit with some white. Some more magenta. Gold in the center, this big magenta, and Prussian blue, a little bit of this white, and I'm going to fill the gaps in with some green to give it the impression of leaves on our flower. That was the sour apple, and this is the sap by Marte. Just a little bit more. We have less negative space. So I'm going to set my paints aside and grab a little paper towel. I cut a section of paper towel in half, perfect size for this project, and I'm going to spray it with water. A few spritz, doesn't have to be soaking wet, shouldn't be soaking wet. And then we're going to lay that right on top of our coaster, being very careful not to have air bubbles. And move our paint around a little bit. The tapping spreads the paint out slightly. And hopefully we'll blend it a little bit. We'll see how this one turns out. Pretty colors together. I'm going to take opposite corners and bring them in. Oops. Bunch it up a little. It's a little harder to do on a smaller scale. And lift straight up. Chunk that a little. There's a lot of paint in the middle. You can pull at it to give it a more defined center. These colors are really pretty together. I'm losing a lot of the Prussian blue around the edges, but when we torch it, maybe some of that will come out. Oh, there it goes. Here it comes. Really pretty. You can play with it a little and get your center to where you want it to be. Bring you down and let you see it a little closer. Here we are, a little closer. Some of those colors really work together. Some really nice lacing happening. Really pretty. This is by no means a perfect representation of a flower dip. If you want to see some super awesome art, I would recommend Fiona Art. She lives in Slovenia and has the most amazing technique. I've not played with her mediums just yet. I, in the States here, might have a little harder time getting what she uses to give her lacing effect. But I might just have to give that an order and try out her formulas for her pouring medium. But really pretty. So if you like this video, you can like, subscribe, comment. I will leave my paints in the comment for you to use. If you have any questions, love to hear them. Thanks a lot for watching.